It really should be. The track, even though it is quite overcast, it is fairly hot, and I know in my race the tyres did get extremely hot, and they're going to be struggling towards the 20-lap race today.
And Wayne Munro, how do you see the showdown between the Fords and the Commodores and this Kiwi crowd? I mean, 25,000-30,000 to see the great V8s.
Just goes to show you, Clint, just what the Kiwi audience wanted. The Kiwi boy out front on pole position. Sensational lap time yesterday was he gets the 5-second board, and Radicic on the second row. We couldn't have it better. What a setting.
Both Gardner and, of course, Greg Murphy were practicing their starts, and let's see how they get off. And Greg Murphy's got off to a good start.
Oh, Rocky gets a hit too, Clint, from behind by Dick, I think. Stephen, it's Dick or John Bow gave him a bit of shunt as Rocky bogged it down the line.
No, it was actually John Bow then that got a very bad start, and unfortunately Peter Brock got a bad start as well, so they're towards the end of the field.
So two of the more experienced campaigners off to a bit of a slow start, but it's the flying Kiwi Greg Murphy. He's got a great start down the back straight for the first time in the #1 Mobil Holden Racing Team Commodore. And closely followed by him, you'll see coming into picture now the Ford Credit Ford Falcon of Glenn Seaton, and then I think it's Paul Radicic followed by Tony Longhurst.
Well, Kiwis 1 and 3, we couldn't have it better. Fantastic start by Murph, and really blitzed away from there. That's a pretty hard job to get one of those beasts off the line, I think, Stephen.
Oh, it is an extremely hard job, but you've got to have the revs perfect for these cars to be able to get off the line good. And I saw Greg practicing his starts earlier on today in warm-up, and he just did a fantastic job then.
So at the end of the first lap, remember again, it's 3 20-minute sprint races, and it's Greg Murphy. Greg Murphy doing a fantastic job through the S's, into railway onto the back straight for the second time. Remember, he's taken over from Craig Lowndes, who's testing for Formula 3000 in Europe, and a good performance over the next week in this fast lane festival of motorsport here at Pukekohe in Wellington. He could be the other driver to team up with Peter Brock full-time next year in the Australian Touring Car Championships.
Well, that's what everyone's picking, and I mean, after his qualifying performance yesterday, the Aussie journos were in awe of the guy. They already know him real well from his Audi drive in Australian Super Tours, of course. But it's been a while since someone has actually taken out that big a gap in qualifying on the rest of the field as Murph flies it over the bumps, over the top of Mobil Mountain, really working at the wheel there, Steve.
I was really talking to Murph.
Oh, the big smash, and it's still cropped in one of the Coca-Cola Commodores. And that McDonald's bumper looks like junk food, doesn't it?
Sure does. Over at the hairpin, we saw something happening in the background there as well, looking at Murph leaving the corner.
I wasn't sure what happened there. I saw.
Let's take a look. You just see Murphy in the Iowa replay. He gets away nice and clean, followed by the rest of the Falcons. And then, just coming into shot now, she's pretty tight round there. And he gets shunted out by one of the FII Shell cars onto the grass. Does a bit of lawn mowing, clips Larry Perkins. And then, we've got 2 cars out.
Just what we didn't need, we've been saying. What a day of carnage it's been at Pukekohe as Larry pulls the older VP Commodore into pit lane. Lots of damage down the side from that side shunt.
Larry was extremely lucky there, and he got a fairly hard hit from Crompton, who obviously got pushed out a bit by, I think it was John Bow, went up the inside, and very lucky not to tip over then.
He'll be very disappointed too, Lazar, because I was talking to him just before, Larry Perkins, and he knows that the car's been struggling with the bumpy setup around here at Pukekohe, so he knows they were going to run down the back of the field, but not that far back.
If anyone seemed to notice, Larry has brought the older model VP Commodore here instead of the VR, obviously chasing front-end grip, which he thinks the VP is a lot better. That's why he ran the car at Bathurst.
On board now, as you can see, 3 Sport heading into the end of the back straight.
You can see Murph's there in first gear, into second gear, up to third. I think you'll see him keep pulling the gears up to 5th gear. There's 5th gear there, and he's just going to cruise across the top, and all he's got to do is look after his tyres.
This is the part where the cars get real twitchy with a bit of attitude, and then how bumpy is it? We went for a lap with Tony Longhurst yesterday, and round here they'd start to really bump up, doesn't it?
Oh, it's unbelievable. These cars do handle the bumps quite a lot better than the Trans Am that I drive. I can tell you every lap that I come down there, the Trans Am bottoms out at least 4 or 5 times, so it is extremely bumpy down the front.
And it's an amazing feeling when you come out onto the start of the back straight. It's like driving on gritty soap, isn't it? Just tower through.
Oh, it's unbelievable. You've got to really be careful of the curve on the outside. If you hit the curve on the outside, it can really turn you around really quick and slow you run down the chute.
They're hitting speeds of up to 260 k's at the end of this back straight, and then the tower brakes go on, flames coming out, and the Ford Credit Falcon closing in a little bit of Glenn Seaton. Greg Murphy still leading. Let's go down to the pits and have a talk to Murray Taylor with Larry Perkins.
Well, Larry Perkins looking very disappointed. An early finish.
Yeah, definitely early. Yes, it was very hectic out there, and Neil Crompton got pushed wide at the hairpin and got well in the dirt, and consequently got very sideways and speared across the track, and his T-bone me went off just trying to drive up the straight there.
Well, a big bash you up for the day?
Oh, I don't think so. We're just assessing it now. It certainly pushed the side of the car in, 10 inches or so, but we're just checking to make sure the back axle's not massively bent, and but no, I think we can be running. It'll be in a bent state, but I think structurally it's still sound.
Teague still out in the front. It's Greg Murphy, the New Zealander in the Commodore, Glenn Seaton in the Falcon, Holden, Ford, 1 and 2 at this stage.
I was just looking at the lap times, and the last lap time from Glenn Seaton is 0.4 of a second faster than Greg Murphy, so he's definitely catching him.
Well, visibly, look how close he's moving in there on Murph as they go across the top of Mobil Mountain. Flames belching out of the HRT car as he changes gear, belting down the front straight here, and Seaton closing in. We thought he would be one of the runners here, and both of them, of course, on Bridgestones, which has got to be the tyre of choice in this class, Steve.
Oh, definitely. The Bridgestones are just an amazing tyre. I don't think anyone has ever seen anything like it. But Seaton did have a problem yesterday. He didn't get to run his second set of tyres in qualifying, so maybe that's why he didn't improve. But he's obviously got his car sorted now, and he's really closing up on Murphy.
57.3, the fastest lap so far to Glenn Seaton. They cracked a piston yesterday and had to put a new engine in overnight. And Glenn's very relaxed. I mean, he just loves the scene here at Pukekohe. He's very happy with the car. No problems about the bumps. He thinks it's fantastic to have such a huge crowd here, and I think all the Aussie V8 boys are just loving it. And he'll be loving this, being right on the bumper of the HRT Commodore.
I tell you what, I think I'd sooner be in Murphy's position than Glenn, because it is extremely hard to pass around here. There's not many places to pass, and these cars are extremely close down the straight, and you definitely won't see, unless Greg makes a mistake coming onto the straight, you won't see him passing down the straight.
But you can see Glenn Seaton's really going to put the acid on the Kiwi kid. He's going to test him out. Brocky was saying before, it looks like maybe these guys have shocked the opposition with Murph's performance yesterday. Look at Seaton, really close through the S's there, really gets tight on him, looking for a run down the back straight, but hello, HRT just goes away from, in the
Tony
wall.
Longhurst has hit the wall. Well, he's done that in Wellington a couple of years ago, and he won't be happy about kissing the Armco here at Pukekohe. So obviously this is the third of the high-profile cars to suffer a bit of a shunt here at Pukekohe.
I think he's actually missed the wall. He's just he's had a spin coming into the bus stop down there to Railway, and he's obviously just spun off into the sand, and he's just got bogged.
Well, he'll be pleased he hasn't hit the wall.
Wants a push. He's pointing to all the photographers there to stop taking photos and give me a push, you guys. Come on, get out here. Now the marshals started to stir themselves, responding to the frantic hand signals there from the boss.
Back on board with Greg Murphy and the Mobil 1 in-car camera, putting you in the driver's seat. 3 Sport through this S's. There's Tony Longhurst. So he's gone straight through those S's at that little chicane, and then onto the back straight now for Greg Murphy. Tell us what it's like to go down the back straight here at Pukekohe, Stephen Johnson.
You come onto the back straight really trying to get a good run, and I tell you what, all you can see is just black road in front of you. It is that long down there, and once you come to this, that corner doesn't look like much on TV, but I'll tell you what, when you're doing 280 odd kilometres an hour, it's a fairly frightening corner.
Paul Radisson for the British Touring Car Championships under pressure from Wayne Gardner.
I was just about to notice, I noticed on the lap times that Wayne Gardner has done a quite quick lap time of 58.22, which was, and his last lap was 0.6 of a second faster than Paul's, so I thought they'd be fairly close.
So the world bike star, the 500cc world champ, making a big comeback here Of course, it's quite interesting that these guys...
Wayne Gardner! He's lost it over Mobil Mountain.
Oh, the Coke boys won't be happy about that. They've had a terrible race this race with Crompton out and now Gardner.
Well, it's obviously got a bit twitchy in a car with attitude, the wrong sort of attitude, and he's just spun it offline. Look at the huge crowd here. They'll be just buzzing. They'll be going off. Unbelievable. Smack bang in the middle of the track right in front of us. Wayne Gardner, superb crash for the fans. Bad for the team, though. Let's see what happened. Just coming up right behind Radicic.
There's quite a big bump right in the middle here, and I think he's just hit. There's one big bump when you get back on the throttle, and he's basically just lost control and smacked into the wall. It looked like it hit pretty hard on the right front wheel, so there's no doubt he's got some steering damage.
Unbelievable stuff. The Pukekohe team, I mean, they came here, you know, looking for such a great performance out of these two cars, and poor old Wayne Gardner just whams it, slams side on into the Armco, top of the hill. All that crowd up there getting this action, wham in their face as the Ford Explorer pace car slows everybody down to a crawl.
I think they may have changed Mobil Mountain now to the Big Mac.
Not the introduction you were looking for to Pukekohe. What happened? Was it the bumps?
No, the back tyre blew out in the corner, in the middle of the corner, blew out, and obviously it turned me into a spin and spun me around, so I was lucky that I actually got away with minor damage. Particularly, it's a very, very fast corner, so the tyre's just not up to the job.
Well, Wayne, you were on a charge there.
Yeah, it was going good. I think I probably would have got pole, and the car was feeling pretty good and working good, and I was pretty confident with it, but that just came out of the blue. It's something that just becomes, you know, it's unexpected, obviously, and it just spun the car into a spin straight away without any premonition or any knowledge that was going to happen. So yeah, it was a little frightening and got a bit of a headache from it all, but fortunately the car's not too bad.
Okay, you've had a look at the car.
Yeah, the back tyre's blowing out, but the car's not too bad, fortunately, but I don't know if we'll be out the rest of the day. It was pretty disappointing, you know, the tyres just went up to the job.
Okay, well, a big crowd there to see you go off.
Yeah, well, fortunately, as I said, it wasn't a big crash because the car's not too bad shape. It's disappointing because I think we had a good third place there.
Okay, we're about to go again, so we're back with the commentators. Thanks, Wayne.
So take a look again, and it's, of course, it's the black back tyre that just blew out there and sent Gardner into the spin, into the wall, and out of the race. The good news for Kiwi fans is that Greg Murphy actually held on to win the race and did a great performance coming down to take the first race after the restart. So it was number one, first, Greg Murphy. The HRT Holden Commodore, Glenn Seaton second in the Ford Falcon, Peter Brock giving Mobil a 1-3 finish, coming home third, followed by Paul Radicic in another Ford Falcon, and then Alan Jones and the other Allied Movers Ford Falcon, rounding out the dramatic top five for the first